Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well today. My name is Colin Wainwright, and this is the first episode of what I hope becomes really a podcast in the future. I don't know if it's going to end up turning into that or if it's just going to be like a normal show I kind of do on my channel. My hope is that it's a podcast because I want to be able to sit down either once a week or bi-weekly or whatever I feel like and kind of just talk about whatever's on my mind at the time. Uh, have it be a longer video than a normal commentary would be. I know I've only made one. I've actually made more than that, but I ended up deleting them because I kind of wanted to turn those into this. So, kind of what I was going to make is now being mushed into this big, long. Uh, it's not a commentary. I guess it's a podcast, radio, not a radio show, but a show like this. Um, I'm doing this one by myself, but I do have some friends who are interested in joining up with me. Uh, we just couldn't get the schedules right now. It's kind of a busy time for everybody, and we just couldn't figure it out for right now. So doing this one on my own, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks we can kind of get everybody on the same page and get everybody joined up. Hopefully there's going to be the plan is to add 2 or 3 more people to this. I think that would be great. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I want this to be kind of a structured show. This is the first episode. I'm just kind of laying the groundwork here. This one's not going to be nearly as structured as I hope for them to be in the past. I kind of want it to be almost like a radio show where there's known segments at known points in the show. So at 5 minutes in, you know this is going to happen, and at 15 minutes in, you know this is going to happen, and so on and so forth. And I think that would be good because it's more organized and people can kind of go to if they don't want to listen to the whole thing, they don't have a lot of time, just go to the parts that they want to hear about, the things that they want to hear about, and just get the information that they need and carry on. That's perfectly fine with me if you don't listen to the whole thing. I'm not going to get offended. I don't care. Just the fact that you're listening at all is good enough for me. So really, this is how I plan for it to go down. Once again, who knows if this will actually turn out this way. Like I said, 2 to 3 more people hopefully joining up and doing this with me. I kind of want there to be a segment that's about kind of gaming news or general news, whatever. It's really just going to be whatever the hosts feel like they want to talk about. I don't really care. I'm going to be super loose with this. The segments are going to be tight, like what's happening when, like the news is going to happen at this time or whatever. But what's being talked about is what I'm going to be not strict with, if that makes sense. So I kind of want there to be a news segment, and then along with the news segment, I want there to be a hot take segment. And this is going to be kind of similar to the news, so it's going to be something that's like a current event that's going on. But a hot take is a little bit different than the news. A hot take is kind of somebody's opinion on whatever is happening. A lot of times hot takes are not the most informed opinions, and many times they are very charged opinions. So a lot of times hot takes are very angry, and the angrier they are, the hotter the take it is. So, for example, like right now, I think it was released today, the news about Destiny and Pop Tarts teaming up with XP boosts in certain packages. Somebody could give a hot take about that and give their opinion on something when really they don't know. They didn't. It's almost like you didn't do your due diligence on purpose, just for entertainment purposes. The point kind of is, I don't want to say the point is to trigger people, because obviously you just don't want to make everybody triggered, but the point is not to make everybody happy. The point is to read something on the internet or listen to something on the radio or see on TV or whatever, and just give your opinion on it right away. That's essentially what a hot take is. And then along with those things, I also want there to be a main part of the show that's going to take up a huge chunk of the whole show's time. That's about the main topic for the show. So for this episode, what I'm going to be talking about is my favorite Destiny moments throughout all of Destiny, from the moment it was announced at PlayStation 4's at the PlayStation 4. Well, it wasn't announced at the PlayStation 4 announcement, but that's when they came on stage, gave that whole video, saw our first little half-second clip of gameplay of that sniper reloading on the moon. All the way up from there to where we are now, the last Iron Banner of Destiny 1 just ended. And with that, I kind of want to talk about really my memories of all the big Destiny moments that have kind of gone on throughout the past 3 years. So if you'll just sit back and relax and enjoy this with me, we'll see how this goes. So back in 2013, I believe PlayStation's announcement was in February. If I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong. Bungie came on stage at a certain point in the show. I did not look this up again to make sure when or whatever, because it's not that big of a deal. And they came up and talked about Destiny and how PS4 is going to make Destiny great or whatever. And there was a little snippet of gameplay of a Guardian. I think it was reloading a sniper on the moon. I believe that's what it was. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what it was. And this was really the first time that I really truly heard about Destiny. I know that after Halo Reach, things kind of started to maybe leak a little bit, or people were kind of getting ideas what was going on. People knew that that was Bungie's last title exclusively with Microsoft, and that they were probably going to go to multi-platform with their next game. I don't think people did know at that time that they were going to be partnering with PlayStation, kind of going onto the other side of the fence with that. But that's what ended up happening. Destiny, the big old video at the PlayStation reveal conference. Just super pumped. I was super pumped about Destiny, super pumped about PlayStation. I've always been a PlayStation guy, never really been an Xbox guy. I've owned all the way back when I was a kid, and my dad got me for Christmas one year a PlayStation 2, and I couldn't believe it, because the console I had before that, just growing up as a little kid, like a little kid, was an N64, playing GoldenEye all the time on that thing with my family. Those were the days, man. And once I got the PS2, I couldn't even believe what was happening on that thing, playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 on those consoles. It was just mind blowing to me. We probably had like 50, 60, 70 games for that console. It was bananas. So I've always been a PlayStation guy, and I was just pumped for the PS4. That's what I have right now. That's what I play on. I play on PS4 and PC a little bit. And so yeah, that's really my first memory that I can kind of recall with Destiny. After that, things kind of went quiet for a long time with Destiny. Bungie would do the weekly updates, but those were really no more than just like, hey, we're still working on Destiny, y'all. It's gonna be good. All right, see you next week. It was just no information at that time. And this is when I first started to watch more console, was in between the PlayStation reveal all the way up kind of until E3 the next year. Getting those weekly updates out, any tidbit of info that would come out, he would just be all over it, and I would watch every video. I still watch every video he makes. And so yeah, I was just getting really pumped up about Destiny throughout that whole time, telling all my friends. I was back in high school then, so telling all my friends in high school that they're going to need to get Destiny. Destiny's just going to be the greatest thing of all time. It's going to revolutionize the gaming world. I couldn't even believe how excited I was for this game. And fast forward all the way until E3 2014. This was the first year of the PlayStation E3 experience. So if you don't know what that is, it's an event that's held in the U.S. I know it's in the United States. I believe that it's in Canada a little bit. If it's not in Canada, I'm sorry. I do not believe that it's in anywhere else in the world as of right now. But I know for a fact that it's the United States because I live in the United States and I went to the first year V3 experience. And it was great. I had a good time. But what I didn't know what was going to happen was there was a surprise in the end for everybody who went. And the big surprise was you got to play the Destiny Alpha. And I lost my mind. I could not believe it. I think a couple of days later the alpha came out. I downloaded it. I played the mess out of that thing. I think it was the Eyes Up Guardian. And then you got one more campaign mission. You got the one where you go back and get your ship. And I think it was that and one PvP map maybe. And that was the whole alpha. And I couldn't stop. I couldn't even believe what I was playing. It was just I just can't even relay to you what my excitement was back then. It was just unbelievable. My excitement, I cannot wait for Destiny 2. I'll tell you that. I'm super pumped for Destiny 2. But my excitement back then for the original game was beyond anything I think I could be really for Destiny 2. It was just I had never been so hyped for a game before than for Destiny 1. I mean, and I think a lot of people were that way too. A ton of people were just as excited as I was, if not more excited. So many Halo fans that were out there who wanted Destiny. So many Borderlands fans who were out there who wanted Destiny. All kind of coming together into one big group to support this game. And it just had the expectations were so high. It's no wonder the release came out the way it did. But there were all these great promises about what was going to happen. And it was just going to be this universe that's like living and breathing. And you go out and you fight all these monsters and defend the last city. Funny thing is, when I first heard of Destiny, even though I saw the dude on the moon, I thought for some reason, I don't know why, I guess I just forgot about the dude on the moon, but I thought it was only going to take place on Earth. And I thought that it was just on Earth and you defend the last city or whatever, and then you go out all across the globe and you fight off monsters and collect loot and get new guns or whatever, and just come back to the city, like as an entire city, not just a tower, and come back, interact with people, trade, buy, sell, whatever, kind of like a giant living, breathing ecosystem in the game. That's what I thought it was going to be. Unfortunately for me, I was wrong. There's 4 planets at launch. Yeah, Earth, Moon, Venus, and Mars. There's 4 explorable worlds. But each one is kind of small, but we'll get to that in a second. So, yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be. And then the alpha came out, and just super pumped. Oh my god, can't believe I'm playing the alpha. That passes. Beta comes. I was out of my friend group out that I was telling. Oh my god, I'm messing this up. Okay. Out of the friends that I was telling about Destiny, I was the first one to get excited about. They didn't even know what it was. They weren't as in the loop about games as they are now. So I was obviously the first one to pre-order it because they didn't even really know about it until I started telling them. So with that, I got my beta code, but with your beta code, you got 2 extra beta codes to invite 2 friends who didn't pre-order the game into the beta with you. So I did that. I invited 2 friends, and we played it, and we loved it. We just could not believe that we got to play. It was like 4 or 5. You got to play all of Earth. So that was like 5 story missions. You got 2 PvP maps. You got to strike on Earth. It was just ridiculous the amount of content you got. And then for like 2 hours on one day, they opened up the moon and you got to go and do the first mission. We've awoken the hive on the moon. That was just unreal. I was like, oh my god, the moon's so crazy because the moon's got that giant piece that's kind of hanging. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's like rising up from the surface of the moon, and there's like all those chunks falling off of it. It kind of glows. We never really got to go over there, I don't think, because that's not the Hellmouth. You go into the Hellmouth, you can see it beyond the Hellmouth. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. It's that giant piece of rock that's coming out of the surface of the moon. I wanted to know what the heck that was, why it was doing that. Just so pumped for the game. And then the first thing happened that kind of derailed my excitement a little bit. It was revealed that the beta was 25% of the full game. And that might not sound like a lot, but we got to play one planet, which was 5 story missions, 2 PvP maps, and a strike. And that was 25% of the full game. So the rest of when the game launched, we would just get the other 75% along with it. And you might think, oh, well, that's so much. You get another 75%, but it really wasn't. It was like, oh, well, it didn't take us very long at all to get through the beta and to level up to level 8, because that was the level cap. And is there really only 75, or is that really a quarter of the whole experience? Like, it just didn't seem like very much, and I began to get a little bit nervous, but I was still excited. I was more excited than I was nervous, let's just put it that way. And just waiting with anticipation for the game to come out. Eventually it comes out. I get that sucker on release. Take it home, because I was still in high school at that point. Take it home, and I just play. Me and my friends, we're just going through the whole game. It's an unbelievable time. We're having so much fun. And then before we knew it, we're level 20 and beat the campaign. It was almost like before we could even like sink our teeth in. It was like we're just getting started, and then the thing ends. And we're like, okay, that didn't seem right. I was like, maybe there's got to be stuff like after. Like there's some more missions, or I didn't even know. I was just so in shock that the campaign was over. The campaign didn't even make any sense. And I know that this is a common complaint with people, but it's true. Like, the campaign made no sense whatsoever. It was, you wake up from the dead, you go around shooting people, you get taken back to the tower, and you get told that you don't even really get like a hello. You just get told that you need to go out and kill stuff. And you're like, okay, so you go out and you kill stuff, go to different planets, and then all of a sudden there's the Heart of the Black Garden. It's a god that needs to be destroyed. And you go and you kill the god, whatever, in quotations, the heart. And then it's like, woohoo, we're done. You're just so confused at the end of it, and you're just left like, is that really it? I could not believe that was all that was there, but that was all that was there. And then there was some strikes and some PvP to do, along with the raid, Vault of Glass. Now, that's a different story. When the Vault of Glass released and I did that sucker for the first time, oh my gosh. Now, that was the opposite of the rest of the experience I had when Destiny launched. I don't know if I've ever had more fun in gaming than I did the first time I did Vault of Glass. Even with the rest of the raids. The raids are good, except Wrath of the Machine. I know a lot of people like Wrath. I don't like Wrath. I'm sorry. It's my least favorite raid. But I believe that Vault of Glass was the single best gaming experience that I've ever had in my life, even up to this point. And so after I was done with that, I didn't know what else to do. I was like, do I just kind of do the same thing over and over again, trying to get to level 30? I guess so. So, I mean, that's what I did. I got up to the infamous level 29, and at that point for me, I didn't try to really grind to level 30 that much. It just wasn't really worth it to me. It didn't seem worth it. So I just kind of stopped after level 29. I kind of just did whatever I felt like to do, whether it was like PvP. I went and just did some PvP or a strike or two here or there. Luckily, though, the first DLC was due to come out very soon after release. So the game released like September, was it September 9th? I believe it was September 9th, 2014. And then the first DLC released in December. I do not remember when in December. I think it was early. But that felt pretty good. It was only 3 months after the game released. Perfect amount of time to get something new. And it was all pumped up. You know, The Dark Below is what it was called. You get that trailer with Crota and his eyes, and you know, 6 of us went down into the pit. And you got all that going on. You're just like, oh my gosh, it's going to be incredible. Well, the DLC comes out, and you go and you talk to Eris Morn, and she's got her ship floating on the outside of the tower, only staying there by via rope, which, whatever, didn't make much sense to me. This is a ship that can, like, go faster than light, essentially, and it's over here being held by a rope. Whatever. But you go and you talk to her, and you get, like, this quest, and you go out, and 3 story missions later, the campaign's over. The DLC campaign's over. It takes you maybe a little bit over an hour. Maybe less than an hour for some of you. I think it took me a little bit over an hour because I did a little bit of exploring. And I was just in shock. I was like, is that really it? And my friends were in shock. They couldn't believe it either. I was like, did I really just waste $35 on a season pass, and this was half of the season pass? I'm already done with it in an hour. And I mean, yeah, that's what it was. You had 1 strike for Xbox and 2 for PS4. You had the Will of, is it the Will of Crota strike? I believe that's what it is, with Omnigul, and then you have Undying Mind. That's also came out with The Dark Below. So you got 2 strikes on PlayStation, and then you had the Raid. Raid was super fun. I enjoyed it very much, but it just, after you were done, there was nothing left to do. The release of the game and the first DLC left a lot to be desired. The storytelling wasn't even that good in the first DLC, in my opinion. Same thing with the original game, but I've already said that. So you're kind of just waiting and waiting for the second DLC to come out, and I was convinced that it was going to come out in like March, because 3 months after the original game came out, DLC 1 comes out. So I thought 3 months later DLC 2 would come out, or I guess that would be 4 months, but whatever. Well, that didn't happen. I think it ended up getting announced in March, I believe, and then it was going to come out in May. I believe it came out like May 18th or May 19th of 2015. This was also the first time that Bungie started doing like the reveal streams for the DLC. So they did like 3 or 4 weeks of reveal streams with different YouTubers, and Twitch. They're not Twitchers. That doesn't sound right. It sounds like they got a problem. People on YouTube and people on Twitch. Just like 3 or 4 weeks with special people like that, and kind of pumping up the DLC, showing off the new social space in the Reef that was also in one of the reveal trailers for Destiny, but we're not going to talk about that. And really just pumping it up, and I was excited. I was excited for the new raid that was going to come out, until it got announced that there wasn't going to be a raid with the new DLC, which was House of Wolves. That's what it was named. And at this point, I was just super bummed out. I was super down on Destiny. There wasn't even going to be a new raid with the DLC. It was going to be this thing called, it was Arena Prison of Elders. And I remember when they did the Prison of Elders stream, and I saw what it was. I was like, are you kidding me? Oh, sorry. Because it's true that people did want like a wave-based survival mode like they had in Halo. And I kind of wanted that too, but that's not what I had in mind. I didn't have the Prison of Elders in mind. What came of that? 5 rounds and then a boss round, and then you're just kind of done. It seemed super underwhelming to me again. Like that's like the whole theme of Vanilla Destiny in the first 2 DLCs is underwhelming and bland. I played Prison of Elders one time the day the DLC came out, and then I didn't touch it again for months because I had no reason to. I didn't want to do it. I didn't care about it. I didn't care about Prison of Elders to the point where I never even killed Skolas before the first moment of triumphs ended. So I'll always have everything done on the first moment of triumphs, but one thing, killing Skolas. Because I hated the Prison of Elders. I didn't like it. I did not think it was fun. I was so just kind of done with House of Wolves. I just did not like it. The storytelling in the campaign was slightly better. The campaign was slightly longer. I think it was like 5 story missions instead of 3. And it was a little bit better. Got the new social space, so that was cool. You did get Trials. Trials was fun for a bit, but I ended up not liking Trials that much in the end anyways. It's just kind of my thing. I'm not the biggest Destiny PvPer. I'm not really a big fan of PvP in Destiny 1. I am a big fan of it in Destiny 2, but we'll talk about that later. So I just never ended up playing that much of Trials of Osiris. So yeah, the DLC comes and goes, and then it's the summer, and you're just kind of sitting here like, oh, what's coming next? Well, luckily, a couple weeks later, the first leaks for the new Destiny DLC start coming out. The first leak I remember it was just an image of the Taken King image, and it looked very similar to the images in the Crota's End raid. It's not the images, but the little carvings, the little hive carving thing, their little symbol. It was very similar to that, so everybody suspected it was a hive DLC. And then just a little bit later, the name the Taken King got leaked, and that was a big deal. So everybody was linking the Taken King to the new symbol. But I was just kind of over it at this point. I mean, I had already paid for the season pass for Destiny, which I thought was going to get me all the DLC, but no, it only got you the Dark Below and House of Wolves. The Taken King would not be part of this season pass, which I was not happy with, but that's what ended up happening. So eventually, everything with Taken King gets fully revealed, and they got the trailers and stuff. And now it's time for E3 2015. Now, the cool story about E3 2015 is I actually got to go. Once again, I think I had just graduated high school at that point. Yes, just graduated high school. I'm in college now. And luckily, I knew a guy who had worked with my family previously. So I knew a guy who knew a guy essentially who could get me in. And it was just like this it was a big deal. I got to go to E3 2015. This was before it became public. So this year, 2017, is the first year that E3 was really open to the public, but I got to go in 2015, so it was super special for me. I'll never forget it. I got to play all kinds of crazy games like Star Wars Battlefront. Not the original Battlefront, of course, the one that came out in 2015. I got to play Destiny, The Taken King. Got to play PvP. At E3, I got to play Black Ops 3. I was funny story real quick about Black Ops 3. When I first got to E3 day one, that was the first thing I went to go do because I thought Destiny and Black Ops were going to be two of the most popular booths at the whole show, and they were. They were really popular. Call of Duty was actually less popular of a booth than Destiny was, but it was still pretty popular. So that was the area that I went to first. I went and wanted to play Call of Duty Black Ops 3 because that was the first year where multiplayer was playable at E3. So I got to go in, and funny thing is, I was actually part of the very first group that got to go in and play the game. So it was like a big deal. I was part of the first group, and I was actually part of the Call of Duty Snapchat. I wasn't like part of any video, or they didn't like put the camera to my face or anything, but they just took a picture of the first group playing Call of Duty, and there I was, just kind of barely in the picture. Only like half of me is in it, but I'm playing. And I didn't even know somebody was behind me taking a picture. So the only reason I found out that I was in it, and it wasn't even me, it was my girlfriend who was following Call of Duty on Snapchat as well, saw it and thought that somebody kind of looked like me from the back, because it was a picture from the back because I was facing the screen. And she thought it kind of looked like me, so she goes back and looks at it even further, and she's like, oh my god, that's gotta be him. So she texts me and says, hey, what backpack are you wearing? And I told her what backpack I was wearing. She's like, oh my god, that you're on the Call of Duty Snapchat. I say, what? That no way. And I look it up, and lo and behold, there I was on the Call of Duty Snapchat. So that was actually pretty cool. It was just a great time. But yeah, trying to get back on track here. So I played Destiny, Taken King at E3. Saw the trailer. They had like a big old screen on the front side of the booth with the trailer going. His name is Oryx, the Taken King, and he's coming for you, Guardian. They had that going, boom, boom, boom. Dun 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 dun, dun whatever. All right. They had that going super loud. I actually got kind of annoyed with it after like the 30th time I heard it, after waiting like 2+ hours in line to play. But it was just kind of it was exciting. Then eventually I got to go in. Things were taking a long time. Deej even came out and like thanked us all for waiting so long because things were taking longer inside than they had expected. They came out. They came out one time with a Gjallarhorn, I think, and shot T-shirts out of it, which was pretty cool. I never got a T-shirt because, they don't like me, but that's alright. So yeah, they're coming out with a Gjallarhorn. Deej is shooting T-shirts out at people and signing some autographs. I was never able to get close. He never really came to my part of the line to where I could get an autograph, which is alright. I'm a little salty about it, but that's okay. I got to meet other cool people. Like I got to meet Dado, and I got Dado's autograph. I got to meet Alfredo Plays. He was at IGN at that time. I believe he was at IGN at the time. Maybe he had already left. Oh man, now I can't remember. But I got to meet him, get his autograph. I got to take a picture with Greg Miller. That was awesome. Got his autograph. Tim Geddes, got a picture with him. Got his autograph. I got a picture with a couple other people. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head right now. I know if I went back in my pictures and looked, I'd find them. But god dang, I'm getting way off topic. This is about Destiny. So yeah, so I'm playing multiplayer match. It was on the multiplayer. I was a Sunbreaker at the little E3 demo. I played a Sunbreaker. What is the map? It's the DLC map for Taken King. That's on Earth in old Russia, I'm sure. And it's got that train track bridge in the middle. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it's got that bridge in the middle. You can kind of go underneath it, and then there's like a left and right side. That was super exciting. Fun fact: that was the first time I noticed that the ghost was now on the front page of the screen instead of the second page in your like a little inventory. And I thought that meant that there was going to be different kinds of ghosts. Now, they had not confirmed this at this point. And I was like, oh, dude, this got to be confirmed. There's got to be different kinds of ghosts in The Taken King, because why else would they put the ghost on the front page? Well, I actually went to the Destiny subreddit with this. Not subreddit, damn. The Destiny forums with that. And the weird thing is, people didn't actually believe me at first. I'm not trying to say I'm some like revolutionary person and people should have listened to me, but it was only a couple people who even replied to me, and they were trying to like challenge me on it. Well, maybe it's a different reason. Just whatever. It was just fun. A lot of speculation going on about what was happening. I think it was a little bit later when they revealed that there's gonna be different colored ghosts and all that fun stuff. So yeah, really the Taken King trailers and getting to play at E3 really kind of built my hype back up for Destiny. I was super excited about it again. I was confident that this DLC was not going to let me down like the base game and the first two DLCs did. So I went ahead and plopped down the $40 freaking for that DLC. And I'll tell you what, I really, really enjoyed it. I really liked The Taken King. I thought it was very good. I thought the story was much better than the previous stories that we had gotten. There's actually like cinematics and a meaningful gameplay that actually had a real effect on what was going on. The story, for the most part, made sense. And it had a crazy ending with spoiler alert, obviously, but with Eris picking up the little crystal or the rock or whatever after you kill Oryx or send Oryx to the throne world, and then she's like, I can't remember the line she said at the end, but it's like she was talking to somebody and everybody wanted to know who she's talking to. I still don't think it's revealed who she was talking about. But it had like that crazy ending. The raid was good. To me, it wasn't as good as Vault of Glass, but I still thought it was good. The strikes I thought were good. I just liked everything about The Taken King. I thought it was very good. I enjoyed it. But the problem with right after The Taken King was, even though I enjoyed it, after I was done with it, I was kind of really done with it. This was a point where there was really nothing to do. There was just no content coming out, no reveals on any plans of any new content coming out, and things just kind of looked hopeless for Destiny. I thought it was kind of over. I thought, not that Destiny was over, but that my time with with Destiny 1 might have been over, because I enjoyed The Taken King. I thought it was good, but I kind of thought that there wasn't really going to be much more coming out. They ended up having some event called Crimson Doubles, which I thought wasn't that bad, but it didn't go over that well. People disliked it enough that it didn't come back again this year. And then, so yeah, Crimson Doubles come out February for Valentine's Day. And then after that, they announced the April update. Now, this was actually really funny to me because they announced the April update, right? It was one story mission, a strike, a quest, and then like a revamped Prison of Elders. Those are the challenge of the Elders. I just thought this was super funny because in order to like somehow build up hype for the April update, they did reveal streams for the April update. I thought that was hilarious. Not that I'm making fun of Bungie or anything, because I'm not. I would have done the same thing. But I mean, it was just a little update that was very small. The mission was maybe the shortest mission in the entire game. It took like 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most to beat. And then the strike was good. I do like the strike. I like it better than most strikes in the game. The revamped Prison of Elders, the Challenge of Elders mode, I did like a lot. I like the point system, and there's different modifiers every week. And different things. So one week it would be like super kills get you bonus points. The next week it would be like grenade kills get you bonus points, and so on and so forth. And so I thought that was very interesting. I thought that was very cool. But just like everything else, it didn't hold you for that long. The April update did hold me for longer than things like Dark Below or House of Wolves did, but still not too long. But luckily after that, they announced Rise of Iron. I'm just gonna skip ahead to kind of the release of Rise of Iron. I was very underwhelmed again with Rise of Iron. I thought it was okay at best. The story was super short again, which had been a problem with everything in Destiny, in my opinion, except the Taken King. The story was short. There was only like one strike. I'm like, one strike? There was one strike when House of Wolves came out. Like, they can't make more than one strike. Like 4 new PvP maps or something, and a new area of the Plague Lands, which is pretty cool. I do like the Plague Lands. You got the new enemies, the splicered up Fallen, who's all right to face. I don't like the splicers that much. I like the Taken and the Taken King much more. So I was just kind of underwhelmed with Rise of Iron. I liked it okay, but I stopped playing it after a while. All the way until Age of Triumph came out. Age of Triumph kind of brought me back, kind of like the April update did for Taken King. And sorry, I just got a little itch on my lip. I liked Age of Triumph for a little bit, kind of doing the raids over again. But after doing that, I don't know. I like doing stuff whenever I feel like there's a good reason for me to really do it. Now, everybody has their own reasons for doing stuff, and everybody has their own things that they find fun. I don't find things like record books that fun. To me, just filling out those little record books is alright, but it's not. I feel like I'm not truly getting anything out of it besides like a little emblem. Now, I know the Rise of Iron record book, you got like a shotgun and some gear or whatever, but which is good. I mean, it was a better record book than record books of past, but I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. I just don't think it's that great of a system. However, I don't know what they can do to make it better. I'm not a game developer. But yeah, so Age of Triumph comes out. That's a good time until it's not anymore. It gets kind of boring. And then Destiny 2 gets revealed. Everybody's super pumped. The trailer comes out a couple days later. Or was it a couple weeks later? It might have been like a week or two later. Fast forward to the reveal event that goes down. They show like new trailers, show off the gameplay, which I thought was super exciting. Then E3 comes. I thought Destiny's showing at E3 was rather disappointing. But the beta came out, and I enjoyed the beta thoroughly. I thought the beta was very good. I know a lot of people think it was kind of thin on content, and it was, but I liked that. I liked that you got to play the one story mission, one strike, and 2 PvP modes on 1 PvP map each. I thought that was very good planning. It's very much a vertical slice. It's almost like it's not even like a beta test. It's almost like it was just like a vertical slice test. Very, very, very small cut of the game. Unlike Destiny 1 where they showed you 25% of the game. This might have been 5% of the game. If that. Probably not even 5%. But I thought it was very good. I love the new countdown mode. I thought that was great. Uh, Super fun, super tense, exciting to play with your friends. I just wish that there was a ranked mode. I don't like that there's competitive without any kind of ranking or league play type system like there was like in Call of Duty Black Ops 2 or whatever. I enjoy that kind of I enjoy that kind of gameplay experience from time to time. So I do hope that they add that in at some point. I know that they said that they're thinking about putting something like that into the game. I hope they do. Uh, if they do, I'll be very happy about that, and it'll keep me playing for a lot longer than the past game and DLCs did. Uh, but yeah, so really with Destiny 2 now, I'm pumped. I'm excited. I do think that it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be much better than anything we got in the first game, whether it be vanilla or any of the DLCs, anything like that. I think it's going to be very good. Uh, I already bought the game with the season pass, uh, just so I could have gotten that early access to the beta because I knew I was going to get the game. There's just no point to not get it early and get the early access to the beta. Um, but yeah, I'm just excited. I think it's going to be good, and I can't wait for it to come out. So that's really all I have on this right now. This is, wow, going on 46, 47 minutes now about. Uh, if you made it through this far, I commend you. Thank you very much. I'm hoping to do this hopefully about every other week and then maybe getting it to a point where it's every week. This is just something for me to really come on and share my opinions about whatever I'm kind of passionate about at the time. Right now, I'm passionate about Destiny and Destiny 2. So I wanted my first episode to kind of be about that. If I put you to sleep, that's okay. I just kind of want to come on here and I don't know if vent is the right word, but something close to that. So yeah, thank you guys very much, and I will see you for episode 2.